It's motherfucking Wednesday, May the 6th, 2026. Motherfucking Wednesday, May the 6th, 2026. Glad you made it. It's a production. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Glad you made it. Wherever you're tuning in from. Let me just hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Thank you. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, from Toronto, all the way, over there in New Brunswick, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Vancouver, my Vancouverites, my Vancouver people over there, south of we're on top because we like, missionary style. Below us, who's the power bottom? The beautiful people from the United States of America, all 50 states, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame. Your boy, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'll power top and then I'll switch over to power bottom. So there's no shame in that. Nonetheless, the beautiful states. And then who's further down south? That's actually, come to think of it, we're making a love sandwich here. The U.S. is in the middle. So then you got the beautiful people of Mexico sandwiching us, or making tortillas out of us. Or, fried beans. Hello. Over there in South America, in Peru, over there in Africa, Guyana, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, of course, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, all the stands, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, over there in Uruguay, back to South America, all around the world, in the oceans, in the water, at a base. People are saying, we've been saying it, but that doesn't matter. Who knows? If you're watching from under the water, if you're barely human, if you're an alien, hello, wagwan. I'm sorry, I can't try. I just basically said an alien like. I just basically told them welcome. We come in peace as we ejac, we're in peace. So I let them know, at least when we ejac, come after we ejac. That's how we get the clear. Right there. Maintaining peace and order. If you're in a cave, if you're in a dwelling on the Highlands in Scotland, gladyamadeit, and that's British, but doesn't matter. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for joining me once again. If you've been with me from the get-go, thank you for all the love and support. Grab your tits, squeeze them tight, please. Suck on your nipple as you watch. If your tit is long enough, if it's large enough, suck on it whilst, or snack. If you snack on a tit, you don't have to eat it. You don't have to consume it for nutrition and calorie counts. It doesn't go towards that, but suck on a titty if you will, and then play with your genitals as you watch this video. Thank you for joining me once again. Without further ado, to all the players out there, welcome back. Time to play. The players are in it again. Who? What are we even talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Lots of fun stuff to be talked about. I'll give you an example. Thank you for asking. You're like, what are you talking about? I saw something that inspired me to do something I saw a bunch of stuff, as a matter of fact, that was just humans. I guess today's episode's underlying theme is people who inspire you, and all of us inspire one another. You know who I got inspired by? I'll tell you right now. God damn it, quit pushing me, but start pulling. Hello. Talking about Border Patrol, ladies and gents. Oh, Border Patrol. This was beautiful. I say we bring it back. You're like, what Border Patrol is here. And yes. I'm talking about a specific aspect of Border Patrol, though. Horseback. Border Patrol on horseback. They just captured Sinaloa cartel members, allegedly on horseback. And it just ignited something within me from childhood, which was the love of a Western, a good Western. Cowboys versus the Indians. Fucking Team Cowboy. All day, every day. The power to the people. The cowboy stuff. Indians do, I suppose. But when you're a kid, always they got the cool hats. I'm sorry. Okay, not to say that the Indians didn't have cool, feathered hats and all. It's just your boy, gravitated towards the cowboy hat. So I'm sorry. I apologize. But I'm gonna still own it. Right there, Team Cowboy. The point is that they captured the Sinaloa cartel members on horseback, which inspired me to say, let's bring it back. We need to do more captures with horseback. As a matter of fact, I saw a few horses. We got them here in Toronto too. We do have police officers sometimes riding on horseback. I've seen a few of them, large cocks on these horses, and they just fucking swing back, and which just reminds your boy of him, not of himself, but you know, it reminds your boy to get inspired and you know, and pull on his cock so that maybe gravity will stretch it out and give your boy a couple of inches. Neither here or there, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's just more natural. It's sexy when you fucking chase somebody on horseback, when you fucking lasso somebody with rope. I suggest, of course, we do utilize other animals. Horses are dope. You know, I don't have access to horses myself. That cost a pretty penny. Maybe down the line, you know. But for the meantime, it doesn't mean that I can't do my part. It doesn't mean that you can't do your part. I've got little turtles. I attach those to the bottom of my feetsies, and slowly but surely, like, but that's too slow. That's exactly where I want them to. That's where I want the cartel or any other criminal organization. That's where I want them to be, or that's what I want them to think of me. This guy's fucking slow, and you're not wrong. It's fucking one of the slow. But guess who wins some race by accident? A slow and steady fella. A slow and steady fella. That's why. So I attach the turtles, and I get a little. I fucking whip them. I'm like, yeah. I whip the turtles, and so they pick it up slightly, but not too fast. And then I chase down criminals on turtleback. That's what I do. It doesn't look as sexy as, you know, horseback, but I tell you, when the wind is hitting these turtles and they fucking slowly but surely fucking put their heads inside their little, you know, shells, it just drives fear into the hearts of criminal organizations. Other animals, of course, raccoons. I've been trying to, you know, tame a couple of raccoons in the background. In the evenings, I go out and I don't feed them. You know, they do scare me a little bit just because it's, you know, a couple of them are chunkies. A couple of them are chunky little monkeys, and they fucking get feisty with the food. So I try to, you know, bribe them, like, you know, I'll give you a little food if you let me ride you. And, you know, the masked bandits of nature. Can you trust them? Who knows? But I'm trying my best. Bears, of course, I grapple with bears. That's before I start every show, I grapple with bears. So I got a good relationship with those guys, trying to tame a couple of doe. If I could ride on bareback and take out like one cartel member every week, that's like 56, or, you know, depending on how many weeks you got. They say time's going to be speeding up or slowing down. They say days are going to be longer. You're going to be getting 25 hours instead of 24. Sometime in the future. That's not here though. That's not here. So it doesn't matter. I'll jump on a bear and he'll carry me, and then he'll I've tamed him, and I give him a little salmon. He's sucking on a little salmon, and he grabs me from behind and he tosses me at the cartel member, and that's where I thrive. When I'm being thrown, that's where I thrive. You don't want me being thrown, dog. You know, just a few months ago, I got thrown by a bear, jumped on the back of the cartel members myself, put him in a chokehold, and by that, I mean we spooned for about 45 minutes, face-to-face spooning, and I just fucking, you know, chewed gum and, you know, breathed in his face until he fucking, you know, dropped the whole cartel act and put down the bricks of cocaine. And, you know, we had a good chat about how to even get involved in this business. So I learned a lot, but all I'm saying is bring it back. I do want to see it switched around as well. I don't want this to be just, it is 2026, and I love animals. Many people do. It shouldn't just be us riding the horses. At times, I'm working up to it. I do want to see a couple of officers, border patrol officers. I want them to, you know, put the horses on your back. Put the horses on your back. That'll throw the cartel members off a little bit as well. Be like, you know, I'm just out here doing my exercises, deadlifting with these horses with giant dicks, and then fucking drop the horse, pew pew, right there, or throw the horse at the cartel members, you know? So that's what I'm planning on doing. That's what I'm endorsing today, working together, getting inspired, using animals, and doing a good deed, essentially doing a good deed. I did trip and fall, so a few of the cartel members got away, but nonetheless, it doesn't mean that my heart wasn't in it, doesn't mean that I didn't try, and there's plenty more weeks in the year left to capture more and bring back fucking, you know, fucking cowboy border patrol officers. Let's go. Right there, dude. Welcome back. There's a beef, and if I can be of assistance to settle the beef, I don't know how it started, but if we can mend old wounds together here, if we can say nay to rubbing salt on the wounds, say yay or gay to mending relations. How did they go wrong? In New Jersey, apparently, a United flight clipped a light pole and it fell and it crushed a bakery driver. This beef has been going on for far too long with United Airlines and United pilots versus bakery drivers. I don't know how it came about. I think, it's just a lack of respect for one another. I think that's where, pilots and United think that they're way better than the bakers who drive the trucks. Oh, like all of you dumb truck drivers, and it must be great to be surrounded with baked goods. Ooh, Mr. Fancy Pants sitting in my truck driving around with bakeries, goods and services, and I smell delightful and people love me. Oh, look, I get all the puss. I get all the puss because I drive that truck with the bakery, with the baked goods inside. Ooh, look at me. And then and vice versa. And then you got the bakers who hire the truck drivers who drive around their baked goods, who don't like pilots, they look up into the sky and say to the pilot, oh, you think you're way better than us, eh? Oh, you're too, not good enough. Earth's not good enough for you, eh? You fucking anti-gravity, son of a bitch. Oh, come look at my bitch. My bitches are altitude bitches. I get these bitches high. I'm Mr. Fancy Pants. They'll say that to the pilot. So this pilot saw this bakery truck driver and he decided he's gonna slightly just glide by, chip the old light pole and have it fall on the truck driver, on the truck, and it crushed the entire truck. And the muffins, because they are flammable, baked goods, highly flammable, the muffins caught on fire. The donuts were burning up. The pecan pies are the worst, of course, and they're extremely flammable as well. The bakery truck driver himself was crushed by a couple of toaster strudels and cinnamon muffins, muffins with carrots in them. They're highly flammable, extremely. So they all caught on fire. He was screaming, I'm burning. All I try to do is bring joy to the people by driving around a truck which brings baked goods to neighborhoods all across America. He was melting, ladies and gentlemen. It's horrific. He got the third degree, and that's the worst kind of degree you can get, in terms of burns, at least. Because I think it's the worst. I keep forgetting, to be honest with you. It's the first, second is mid. Second is mid. I can't remember if first is worst or number one. This is the best kind of burn you can get. You've got the first degree burn. I'm burning with first degree burns. This is the worst, or it's the best because it's numero uno. But then there's an argument to be made, of course, for the third degree. This is the highest level of degrees in terms of burns. Were there no higher degrees, by the way? Doesn't matter. He got burnt, I think. I'm not sure. I think he got crushed. Or he built up his immune system to fires, and from all the years of getting picked on by United pilots, he fucking, the truck collapsed on top of him, but he went silent for a few seconds, but afterward he ripped off his shirt and he turned into the Hulk and he fucking grabbed the pilot and just went King Kong on his ass. But nonetheless, we say to both the pilots and the bakery truck drivers, you are both equally heroic. Your services are both equally needed. You're loved. Do not let your differences get in the way of you coming together. And I'm not talking about homoerotica. I'm talking about simply coming together. I do want to clarify, I don't want pilots and bakery truck drivers to ejac on top of I don't want you guys to jizz on one another. Unless that's what you want to do, then by all means, I don't want to be in the way of 2 or 3 or 4 pilots and bakery truck drivers jizzing on. If your heart is in it, then by all means, have a little sword fight, please. Just don't get it in the eye. I mean, that's not the worst thing. It's been in far worse places, get it on your keyboard. My goodness, try getting it out of there. I'd much rather get it in the eye than the keyboard. Get it, the hair's not that great either, but still, there's far worse places. Your favorite book, my goodness, the pages are stuck together. You're gonna have to buy a new book. So, the eye and the hair, it's pretty bad. Not as bad as getting it on a book. What are some worst places you can get jizz on? I don't know. It's fucking, your favorite suit, and you're like, oh, this is my favorite suit, and now it's got a little jizz stain on it. Now you're thinking, do I wash it off? I don't have time to wash it off. Now you gotta jizz more on the suit to make it appear as though that's the design. This is my jizz suit, you'll say. People will be like, are those jizz stains on your suit, man? Did you forget to wash? You'll be like, no, it's a special piece made by Gizzoni from Europe. Gizzoni makes this jizz stained suits, and you can't buy one because you're poor. It's like 10,000 a piece. Try buying one. You'll have to wait in the line, and it's cold outside. You'll die waiting for this, and it's like 10-20 grand for Gizzoni suits. That's right. Who are you wearing? Gizzoni. There you go. But I say, let's come together. Put your differences aside. I hope everybody's all right. It was surgical, I'll tell you that. Though, hitting a light pole. It may seem easy to the nude eye, to the nudist eye, but it's not. You could dismantle the whole thing. You could fucking run over an entire highway. You could hit buildings and shit. But this guy fucking meticulously worked on his craft, and he just slightly fucking grazed the light pole. And again, hats off to the precision and surgical work, but also let us once again come together in a non-sexual, in a platonic fashion. Thank you. Wednesday. Are you tired of having to work really hard to disappear people? And we've all heard of it. Oh, special scientist from NASA goes missing or disappear or ended up dead. Oh, or other people who end up missing and or dead under mysterious circumstances. Are you tired of having to go out of your way to pull off a job? You gotta call cleaners now. This is fucking, it's a lot of work. I get it, which is why I say rest your tired souls here. Come park it. Not just a few, not on my lap, but park it. Unless you're a hot baddie and you're fucking legal in terms of age, then fucking park it on the lap. Otherwise, fucking take a hike. All right. What am I talking about? Yeah, it's just been wet work. It's too difficult. It is. It's not too difficult. It's just a lot of work. But we made it easy for you in 2026. And 2027 moving forward, we have introduced it again. This is with the AI and the cameras coming in the cars to look at your eyeballs, your pupils, and your hand-eye coordination. And if you fucking just stop paying attention for a second, the engine, there's a kill switch. You kill off the engine right then and there. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can now take out anybody in any new car that you want. Anybody and this doesn't have to be specifically, I know, NASA scientists, fucking, annoying. Oh, look at me, I work on special metals that'll make better rockets to get us to space. You're like, fucking disappear this guy. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Disappear this motherfucker, get him out of here. All right? I invented a whole new way of growing food without soil and water. Look at me, I'm Mr. NASA scientist guy. Get out of here, take a hike, all right? NASA scientist guy. Oh, look at me. I put food in the tubes. I put food in the plastic tubes, and you can suck on the plastic tubes, and it gives you the same amount of nutrition as eating the 40-ounce steak. Suck on a tube. Fuck out of here, Mr. NASA scientist guy, with your accolades and your badges and your credentials and your the plaques on the wall and the degrees. You think we don't have degrees as regular people? We'll do 180 right now. We'll fucking do 180 right now, dude. You don't know us. NASA scientists. So it could be them, and I get it. They're annoying. I get it. They're all like, oh, look at our cool NASA jumpsuits. You can't have one because so it's officially you can go buy like a knockoff, but it won't be the same. Like, who can get the only original NASA suits? We can. We're special NASA scientists. And fucking disappear these guys already. God. But that was just for NASA scientists and researchers. They're like, I'm working on plutonium. I'm like, all right, great, dude. I just fucking, I jerked off, 20 minutes ago. I guess, you're so much superior than me. Fucking A. Disappear, this son of a bitch. But it was just, and it was a lot. You had to go through a lot, catch him off guard on a hiking trip, catch him off guard on a broad trip doing research. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Regular people just search, dog. It's people who, people who go and research. I don't even, if I can just search it properly the first time, so you don't have to go researching for the thing you were searching for. Why do, that's because they do it incorrectly the first time. That's why they're going through the research. That's, so fucking, measure, what do they say? Measure a few times and take the right dosage, and if it doesn't hit right, then take another bite, or inhale a little bit longer, or drink a little bit more. Something about measurements and your BMI. It doesn't matter. The point is that everybody's different. Point is that you can actually disappear people with cars now. It's wonderful. So let's say you get a haircut and the guy fucks up your hair, right? And he holds up a mirror behind you, and you want to fucking, cut him right then and there. How does it look? And you're like, oh, I told you not to go so fucking short. And he did it. And you leave a tip, and it's expensive. But he gets in his car. Next thing you know, you fucking, hack into his car. Get him off, fly him off a bridge right there. How does it feel? Pay more attention next time, or your dentist. I'm sorry, I gotta drill in your teeth right now with these, these archaic tools, and it makes a lot of noise, and I'm not paying attention to the suction thingy, so your saliva's all over you're like a baby, you're like a dumb baby now, you're drilling, we'll put a bib on you, we'll make a fool, come check out this patient, Nancy's coming over and looking at you, you got a bib drooling, you look like an idiot in front of Nance, this dentist is trying to, emasculate you in front of Nance, so thank him for the job well done, and then hack his car, and next thing you know, off the bridge you go, son. Pay attention to that saliva suction thingy that you would fucking work with, son of a bitch. You go to a restaurant, the chef doesn't work, the food is just slightly, it's not as hot as it should be, they serve it a little bit cold, and they come and ask you for like a 20% tip, leave the tip, but also fucking hack into his car off a bridge, there you go, chef. So you're welcome out there. Again, this isn't 1987, this isn't 1999 where you had to go and get a hitman, and you'd have to make sure, get his size so you can equip him with a proper, black turtleneck, what size head does he have, a small, medium, or large head? Got to get him a ski mask, got to pay for his equipment. You don't need to do that. Just learn a little bit of hacking and basically get anybody off any bridge anytime you want. Fucking ram him into a wall anytime you want. Kill switch, so that you can take out anybody you want in 2027 and beyond. You're welcome. The fella who comes and does construction on your house, you're like, I need a new fence, and they give you an estimate, and then it takes a little bit longer and costs a little bit more. You pay him anyway because you have to, but guess what? Off the bridge he goes, never to be seen again. Kill switches, ladies and gentlemen. Use it wisely though, please. Don't fucking, don't do it on everyone, but use it to your advantage. Hit the brakes, slam the brakes, press the gas, turn the car off right in the middle of the highway. Off a bridge, there you go. Some random dude slightly bumps into you on the sidewalk. Oh, my bad, sorry. Excuse me. It's no need to worry. Off the bridge he goes. At the Starbucks, the barista gets your name wrong. No problem, happens all the time. Off a bridge, there he goes too. So it's a great invention. We've worked on it. Took a long time. We decided to give the people what they want, and here it is. You're welcome out there. Of course, this isn't just the only tech that I've been working on personally. I've worked on other tech, and again, I got my tentacles in every little jar, anything you can think of. This is the octopus that can and will and is. I got my beak wet in many a jars and many a piss pools and many of anywhere that's wet, really, I got my beak in it. And another place that helps individuals, are you tired of fires and having to fight it with regular water? Get the hose, and you got to depend on bitches to put out fires. That's, what is this, 2002? I don't think so. It's 2026, which is why I decided to team up with firefighters and scientists and
we are bringing you, we teamed up with this company called Sonic Fire Tech. We developed I don't want to call it a weapon because it's not, but it could be used as a weapon if you like it to. But essentially what it does, it uses sound waves. You see a fire, you aim this device at the fire, and it just puts out the fire via sound waves. And we tested this out everywhere. And we had to burn up a lot of village. I traveled to many places in South America, in Southeast Asia. We set a whole bunch of villages on fire, and we tried everything at our disposal to put out the fires, except water, of course. We were like, no water, no fighting the fire with water. That's what are we, fucking animals? What are we, Neanderthals? What are we, fucking, cave people? I don't think so. So something new. So we fucking got all the researchers, were like, what else works? And we tried a lot of stuff, and a lot of it didn't work. So the villages actually, please, yeah, sure. Could there be people that are looking into how many villages we burnt to do our research? Yeah, you could do that. You could be one of these guys that likes to, poke holes or, look for, they kill a whole, they kill thousands of people in villages trying to do their research. And you missed a whole Fruit Loops. You missed a whole, end of the rainbow. You missed a pot of gold, because this right here, despite the fact that it might have been built on, countless villagers being burnt to a crisp, it worked out. Yeah, we threw stuff at them. We threw rocks at the villagers that were on fire. It didn't help. Tried bamboo. We tried bamboo. Fighting fires with bamboo didn't help. It actually made the fires go up in flames even worse. You could still hear the screaming when you go out into the night, into the dark. If you're just standing alone by yourself, you can still hear the screaming. We tried just throwing cutlery at them, and that did nothing. Actually, a couple of people injured their feet. They got stabbed by forks and knives and spoons, and they started bleeding, which didn't help because they were burning. So again, yeah, sure. Could you focus on the, people are like, how do you make an omelet? How do you get the bake that going? You think it all just fucking, you snap a finger and it all just, what do you think this is? Do you think this is the a fairy tale? You think this is some Disney cartoon where a beautiful fairy comes and snaps her fingers and there you go, you're fucking, there's no snapping of the fingers. There's a little dance. There's no pumpkins turning into cars. It's science and it's hard work. But we decided, after, what actually inspired us was some of the people who were in the villages, as they saw their relatives burn to a crisp, they started screaming. I'm telling you, like fucking high-end screaming, like just fucking, putting all their, body and motion and spirit into it. And the sound waves they created from the screaming, it actually put out the fires. Now, yes, did their relatives die because it was too late? Yes, they did. I'm talking children, I'm talking women, a few elderly, and it was, but they were like, it doesn't matter because they were like, in villages, and they weren't even proper. Like there were no shoes. I'm talking no shoes, no microwaves. They just got cell phones. We just dropped cell phones. They just discovered porn yesterday, so we didn't lose much. I'll tell you that. So the remaining few villagers, we paid them off. So don't worry about that. They signed NDAs too. They're not allowed to talk about it. They don't know what NDA has to go. They don't even know what NDAs are, but they signed it. And by signed it, I mean we forced them because I'm like, if you don't sign these, you think what happened to your loved ones was bad. And so we got them to consent to the NDAs, and they signed, and we discovered that you can actually fight fire with sound waves, and we basically put that into a device and mechanism where now you just flip a switch. It's like a vacuum. You aim it at the fire, and no need to grab a whole bunch of water, have a truck. So what I want you to do is just, the tech is new. Of course, it's going to take some time to implement it, but the fastest way we could get this going is getting rid of all fire hydrants, getting rid of all fire stations, I don't want you to worry anymore. Summer's around the season. I don't want to hear about, oh, we got another fire in this place. Oh, it's dry heaving or whatever. As long as it's just, and if you don't have access to this mechanism, this technology, again, just scream at the fire, scream until it's got to be really high pitch. You should probably blow out your vocal cords. I do want to see you bleeding from the ear. If you're bleeding from the ears and screaming, that's the right pitch. Anything below that, it's not gonna cut it. Okay, so grab your wife, grab her legs and just make her scream at the fire until we get the devices out to everybody. And this is dry firefighting as opposed to the old school wet method, which just made a whole lot of mess. Just a lot of mess. But you're welcome out there. Yeah, science, your boy fucking innovating. You're welcome. People were bored. Some people were bored and they decided to take a trip, a cruise ship trip to the, near the coast of Africa. And apparently they were experimenting with rodents, and specifically rodent fecal matter and urine. And they caught hantavirus and they died. 3 people died of hantavirus on a cruise ship. And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like I've never been on a cruise ship trip myself. I don't, I feel, I'm not claustrophobic, but I feel like it's just like, I need to know when I want to get off, I can get off. Not sexual, please, this is a family show. Platonically get off. I need to know when I can get off. I also do need to know when I do, like sexually speaking to, I need to know when I need to get off. I need to know if I can or can't get off. That's neither here or there. The point is that these people are like, oh, regular cruise ships are no fun. We're gonna spice it up. That's what they said. So they take rodents with them. They took rats, vermin. They took fucking, cockroaches, raccoons with squirrels with missing tails and like missing ears, like fucking with rabies and other stuff. And they had hantavirus. And these passengers on the cruise ship decided to grab the rodents and vermin and just start licking and sniffing their fecal matter and urine. Look at us, we're cruise ship folk. That's how we party. Yeah, give me that urine from that raccoon with the missing eye. And they did. And then they thought they were having a great time. And they did. Initially they did. But eventually, apparently consuming too much fecal matter and urine from rodents can lead to hantavirus, which again caused 3, maybe 4 people to die. This is nothing for you to be concerned about, of course, that they made their bed and they made their ship. And they're all gonna probably die on that ship. We don't know what to do with them at this point. Could it cause, could it cause other people to get hantavirus? I don't know. I'm not quite sure if it goes human to human. I think it should probably go from animal to human first, but maybe if humans catch it, maybe they can give it to one another. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I say let's build immunity quick. If you see someone with hantavirus, the signs and symptoms are headaches, fever, respiratory problems, trouble breathing, and it gets worse and worse until you start defecating yourself and pissing all over yourself, and and then reversing it on the animals, and then you find out that's what it does to you. It goes the virus goes into your brain, and then all you want to do is seek rodents and vermin and get them to drink your urine and eat your fecal matter. It's basically it's like a closed circuit. It's like a loop. It's like a loop virus. So everybody on that cruise ship is essentially gonna probably get it, and they're all gonna consume each other's fecal matter and urine. But I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth going out on this cruise ship and saying, let's just throw caution in the wind. We're gonna just play it fast and loose with vermin, fecal matter, and urine, and look where it got them. So word to the wise, consume your fecal matter and urine from the rodents, responsibly. Don't go overboard. Consume a little bit, build up your immune system. Once you go from 0 to 100, exposing yourself to fecal matter and urine, rubbing them against your face, cuddling them, squeezing a little rat to just piss on your face and be like, look at me, I'm on the coast of Africa, piss, the rat piss in my face. Look, and then you post it on Instagram, #hantavirus, living a good life, all that. It comes with consequences and people die, apparently. So please be careful out there. And if anybody starts talking about potential next pandemics and stuff, nip it in the bud. Exposure is just what I did. I went out there, got a little bit of vermin, fecal matter, and urine, and started consuming just a little bit right now, because I'm thinking about the future. I'm like, if anything comes out, I want my immune system to be ready. I know I'm not gonna go out there and share my, health stats with the World Health Organization. This non, this non, it's friggin', it's not even it's a non-nation state government that doesn't even, no, I'm not sharing my health stats with you. Who or whom should I say? With whom shall I share my health stats and information with? With no one. Whom? Not you. Not my doctor. Well, maybe my doctor. That's not I don't own this doctor. I'm not filthy rich. I don't have my own doctor, but a random doctor that I'll visit every 7 to 10 years when the time is right. So that's who I'll share it with. Whom. But rest assured, everybody else is safe out there. As long as, again, just a little bit expose yourself to the virus. It's the same concept as the peanuts. Peanuts with the allergies, with the kids, a whole generation not eating peanuts, develop peanut allergies. You don't want hantavirus? Start, get a little squirrel in your yard. Let's drink it, get a thimble and just, fill it up with squirrel piss and drink that. Take a little shot. That's what I do every morning. And look at me. Hantavirus, schmentavirus, please. I've heard a lot of men and women too. I don't know how this all started. Something happens during the stages of pregnancy and all of a sudden you hear couples talking about it. All of a sudden they go from this, monogamous relationship to, they're, having a baby, they're cooking a baby in the female's ovaries, and all of a sudden I don't know if it's the hormones in the females that, mess with their brains that also impact the males, but all of a sudden you'll start hearing couples, men and women, talking about having to maybe get another midwife, a midwife. I'm just here to just let you know you're not alone, okay? You don't need to get a midwife. First and foremost, you're already probably married and or in a relationship. You don't even need to be married, but technically, so you got somebody pregnant, okay? You don't need to bring another mid-level wife into the equation. People think that, more is more. People think that I gotta spice it up with another, my wife is good, or my spouse or lover is good, but I also wouldn't hurt to get a midwife. And that's, that's when my point is, do not settle. Do not go out there thinking you're gonna pick up a 4 or a 5 on the streets, put a ring on it and call her your midwife. And she's gonna come in there and be the solution to all your problems. She'll come in there, she'll fucking stick her nose in your business, and maybe she'll grab your wife's tit and help with the milking and the lactating, which is pretty hot. She'll fluff your nuts. That's the job of a midwife. She'll maybe suck you off. Who knows what these so-called midwives do anyway. But the whole point is, do not settle. Even if you are gonna go for another wife, I've even heard about people who aren't in relationships. I gotta get a midwife. Don't settle. Do not settle. Okay, everybody deserves good things. All right, get somebody who's your equal or better than you. That's how you advance your life. You don't go and be like, I'm gonna just pick some, random midwife. This 3 or 4, like if she's a 5, I'll get this midwife, and everything's gonna be great now. It's not gonna cut it, dude. It's not gonna cut it. Have some self-respect. Have some dignity. You can do better. Do not just settle because you see everybody's doing it. If everybody, built a bridge, it's difficult work. Would you build a bridge? What's that saying about bridges? If everybody went out and there was like a good bridge and everybody started to look at the bridge and, wasted an entire afternoon looking at this bridge, would you go and look at, what's the saying with the bridges? If the mafia was doing construction work on the bridge and they had a dead body that they wanted to dump into the cement, and all the mafia gathered, like if one mafia member dumped a dead body into the cement of the bridge, should all the mafia members go and dump their dead bodies into the cement of the bridge? What's the saying with the bridges? It takes a bridge to know one. No, it takes a bridge to no bridge is too far. No bridges. You know what I'm talking about. Bridges. The point is, don't just go follow. The point is, don't follow. Just don't be just one of these like a sheep just following trends and fads. Just everybody's like, oh, we got to get a midwife. We gotta bring another person. This is gonna be great. And you start chatting about it with your friends, spreading these ideas around, and all of a sudden your friends are like, well, if John is getting a midwife, maybe I should get it. You're sitting in the sauna. Oh, I heard John's getting a midwife. And the next thing, it's just trouble. It's just, keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's what I say. Don't bring one of these extra midwives into your life and think that it's gonna get rid of your whatever issues that you may or may not have. It's probably gonna cause more issues. I'll tell you that right. So please be careful. Shout out to South Africa. Wagwan, mi familias in South Africa. I saw this one. It does. I'm a fan of people. I love South Africans, people all around. I'm a people person myself. I don't like it when people are, showboating or fucking like showing off. So I do want to just take this time and say, despite the fact that I love my South Africans, what I saw recently was perhaps not the best example of what the people of that nation and region can do. I think you're better than this. What they did is, some say it's a little bit out there. They decided to airlift a crocodile, and this crocodile had ingested a full human inside it. Apparently it was a businessman. The crocodile ate a businessman, apparently. Who knows what that businessman is just code for fucking, gigolo. But the point is that it ate the man, and they decided, what did South Africa do? They decided to go and airlift the crocodile and show it off to the entire world. And they're all like, look at us, we're South Africans. Look what we can do. Look what our animals are capable of. They can ingest a whole human. Take a look at us, world. Look at our crocodiles and or alligators. They eat whole humans. And that's just, yeah. Is it impressive? Of course. Is it like, does it, ultimately, I suppose it does make everybody, raise their game. But it is a lot too. It is a lot, I'll say that, South Africa. It is a lot to just fucking, push that on people and be like, look at us. With some people don't even have alligators or crocodiles, all right? South Africa, so I'm happy for you that you can airlift this crocodile with a full human inside its belly and show off and be like, look at all the great things we've done. We're South Africans. We're above, humans eating animals. We've got our animals eating humans, and it just, yeah. Did it make other people from other nations want to question their game? Yeah. Did I try to, I try to force feed a couple of, because I don't have crocodiles or alligators here in Canada. I try to force feed a couple of, midgets to a moose just over the past weekend. And the moose would not eat the humans. It was rejecting because they're not meat eaters. But I was just like, I showed the video to the moose. I'm like, look, this is South Africa. This is where we're at. It's a little friendly competition. Do not make us look like cucks on a global scale, please. The moose did understand, and he, bless his soul, he did try to ingest it, but he threw it up immediately, and it just made a mess. It was just disgusting, to be honest with you. And I tried several other times, to push it down the throat of the moose and just keep eating it, just rejecting, just vomiting all over the place. And it did not work. I got a couple of beavers here that I'm working with. I had to, again, chop the bodies into small pieces, so it wasn't and the beavers did not like the whole chopped human body parts either, and I know it's not as impressive as a whole human body inside a belly of a crocodile. So again, South Africa, we're impressed. We see you out there, but also like low-key, like take it easy, all right? There's plenty of puss to go around for everyone. No need to just go out there and display everything all at once. I'll reach out to my neighbors if need be, because brethren and sistren in the South, I'm talking about the U.S. I believe you guys have crocodiles and or alligators, so maybe we can do it bigger. Maybe we can get an obese person. Our alligators, and the U.S. and Canada are Siamese twins, hot cousins who make out every once in a while. we'll do it if need be. We'll get a couple of, and I don't think you have as many obese people as North America. So if need be, we will force feed our alligators and crocodiles some obese chick that weighs 700 pounds. And then we'll get 2 helicopters, Apache helicopters. Fucking Kid Rock will operate the helicopters, and we will dangle obese fat chicks inside the belly of Floridian crocodiles and alligators if need be. So please, don't tempt us, and but also play it. Like I do respect it. I'll say that. But also, fucking take it easy. Let's all, we're in this together. So like, you got animals, you got humans, and it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, but still, don't fucking, because if need be, we'll get there. All I need to do is just pick up the phone to my homies down in Australia, and we'll get a few kangaroos that'll just, midget munching kangaroos, and we'll fucking wave those guys around just on sticks. We'll put the kangaroos up on a stick and just eating a midget live on TV. Do you want that, South Africa? I don't think so. Does sound like a cool idea, though. We might just do that, despite the fact you might not even want it at this point. You started this shit. All right. Devoted fans, man. People are so incredible. But as soon as people find out you like something or you love something or you're into something, if they're a fan, they go out there and that's what I'm talking about, man. We all inspire one another. We're all part of a, collective, just the human spirit being together. Most people are so generous and wonderful, and they think of one another, and they're like, man, how do we support one another? And so people apparently found out that Jeff Bezos I think he was the chair of he was chairing the Met Gala this year. He said I'm going to chair the Met. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you, but people love Jeff Bezos. A lot of people do. And they found out that Jeff Bezos is apparently into piss play and water sports. So people took time and independently went and spread water bottles with piss all around the Met Museum before the Met Gala event started, just because they just heard Jeff Bezos is chairing the event. And I don't even know how you're going to chair. How does it... Is that like magic shit? Is that like, he's working on, that's some like high tech, like that's some like classified tech that he's been probably working on, right? Like human to chair, like, I'm going to just chair, right? I'm Jeff Bezos. I'm going to chair this event. Jeff Bezos chairs activate. He turns into a chair. Good God. Wait till our enemies see this shit. Jeff Bezos chair. Just fucking, what is this? Is it like a love seat, or is it a lazy boy? I don't know what kind of, doesn't matter. I'm impressed. But nonetheless, this goes to show that humans, we support each other. So people found out that he's into piss, and they filled the bottles with piss and just scattered it all around for Jeff Bezos and the Met Gala, which I attended so this piece is actually something I've been working on for about 7 months. It's made by the same guy that creates the suits, the Jizz suits. It's a European fella. And the design is European. The cost do not ask how much this piece costs. This piece there's nothing. It's not something you can afford out there. It costs like $3 million. This piece. It's made with sweat, labor, blood. Children sewed it's hand stitched. And by that I mean children. We got children to chop off other children's hands and then use their hands to hold the needles and thread the needles, and they sewed with, so there was children that used other children's hands. That's what we mean by hand sewn, and it was bloody. We were on top of, I myself did not partake in the whipping of the children and the lynching, but I made sure that I paid off a few officials overseas to make sure that the lynching goes on whilst I'm not there. Because, sometimes they're like, man, you take your eye off the ball and all of a sudden you come and you ask for a project to be done, and if you're not there, it might not be done, like the way you would have liked it. But I found out if you pay off the officials properly, they'll still people want to do a good job. So yeah, a whole bunch of children got to work on it. We paid them like, you know, I don't even think we paid them, to be honest with you. It was just like we allowed them to have the experience of gaining work experience so that later when they grow up, they can be like, I've got work experience. So I allowed that to happen to produce this piece. It's Illuminati themed. It's a little bit of like, what is it not? It is what it is, and it's fashion. And again, it costs $75 million. And it's just, I hope you guys like it. And again, I hope you guys like it as much as I hope one day I get bottles of piss, you know. I'm not saying I like piss, but I mean, if that's what he's into. But what if his taste changes? What if he likes jizz next year? Will people still be like, and he's not sharing? Well, that's the question too. You always ask, you know, you're on top 1 second and you wonder if like you're not. What if he's not the Jeff Bezos of 2026 next year? What if he doesn't decide to turn into a chair next year? Will the same people go out there and be like, we still love you, Jeff, despite the fact that you can only turn into a chair every 50 years? Maybe you can't do it back to, it's just too much. Will people be, you know, still supportive and give him the piss that he wants? Or will people be like, oh, Mr. turns into chairs can't turn into chairs now. He's too old to turn into a chair. And we're going to keep our piss for someone else. So, and you don't even want those guys. You don't even want that kind of support, man. So fuck them. Fuck them. If they can't come and give you piss when you can't turn into a chair, fuck them. That's what I say. But nonetheless, it's beautiful to see everybody working together. $150 Lego Crocs have been created, and it's basically Lego, the company Lego, the toy maker Lego. The Lego block has been turned into a shoe. It's just a block. It's just a rectangular shaped block. It's red. I don't know if it comes in any other colors, but it's rectangular. It's beautiful. It's costing $150. And some people are asking, is it worth it? And we're gonna test it out right now. Let me ask you this. Tired of doing crime and leaving your footprint all around the crime scene, and then they match your footprint to some sort of like, you know, database, and you're like, that's John Smith with, you know, size 13 and a half Jordans. That's John Smith. We know him. We've had his footprint from birth. He had big feet since birth. He actually ripped through his mother's vagina. That's how he got put into the database from the get-go, because he had extremely large feet, just a baby body, but size 13 and a half feet on a baby. It made the news. Yeah, but that's John Smith right there. Arrest him. And all you wanted to do was, you know, fucking do some crime, and you were too negligent to you know, change your shoes, and you didn't take the time to maybe wear larger shoes. I've said this I don't even condone crime, but if you're going to do crime, wear different size shoes to throw people. But if you can't, get this Lego shoe right now, because the shoe print is just gonna be like, what are we even looking at? It doesn't look like a footprint. You could walk around snow. It could just look like, you know, rectangular shapes on snow, and it would just be mysterious, and nobody would know. People would, or they'll ask, did somebody, you know, get Kleenex and then take the Kleenex out of the Kleenex box and then put their hands inside the Kleenex and start walking around on their hands inside the Kleenex box? What are these box prints on the snow? Or in the same in the desert too, if you're in the middle of a desert or like a swamp, so you're like, oh, I gotta get away, but I don't want to leave any footprints. Get these blocks, get these Lego blocks. It just throws people off. People, you know, crimes will probably go unsolved for millennia because people can't, you know, figure out what it is. Unless you want to get caught, then fucking get regular shoes or go barefoot, you idiot. But that's what Lego Crocs are good for. Another good thing about them is that they've got edges. They're pointy edges because, again, it's rectangular. And let's say, I don't know, you're having a good night with your girl and her girls too. You're like, I'm going to accompany my girl and her girls and maybe another one of the girls' boyfriends. We're all going to go, I don't know, to a lounge or a club and have some drinks and maybe dance a little bit. And it's late at night, and then you get out and everybody's got a little bit of that, you know, salty sweat from the Latin dancing that you did in the evening. The girls are not wearing any panties. It's hot. You've unbuttoned your shirt. The sex could be smelt in the air. It could also be hantavirus. So be careful. It could be anything. But nonetheless, a group of hooligans, hoodlums, decide to pounce from behind the dumpster, and now they're showing their knives and batons and the battle axes that they're carrying and wielding, and they come at you and they're like, we're hoodlums. They carry around battle axes and knives, but we also take care of our health. Would you like a drink? And they offer you a beverage, and you're like, what is this? We don't want you to be thirsty before this goes down, because we want a fair fight. And you're not equipped to do any damage to these hoodlums if you're wearing regular shoes. But my friends, you don't need to carry a pocket knife. You don't even need to open carry or conceal carry. Simply go with the Lego Crocs. Use the edges to your advantage and be like, yeah, motherfucker. Thank you. Take the water, drink it, of course, get hydrated, but then high kick right there to catch them right in the eye with the pointy edge of the Lego Croc. Immediately just dislodge their eyeball and have it fucking fall to the ground. Emasculate them right in front of their fellow gang members and say, I could do this all day. Like I do, and by all day I mean I gotta be up pretty early because I still gotta put in the 9 to 5. But like outside it, like I could probably spend a few hours doing this. Make sure everybody in these days, like you gotta work. Everybody's working really hard out there. So maybe I can spend half an hour and do this for like at least half an hour. Anybody else wants some? And then do it to another person, despite the fact that they've not yet answered. You take out another eyeball. Again, emasculate another fellow gang member. What do you just lay down? You just laid down that you are in charge, my friend. Not like some random faggot that wears faggoty shoes that are just like regular shoes. You got Lego Crocs that could take out gang members and leave no trace too. So there you go. These are some of the pros of Lego Crocs, and it's only $150. Sure, walking might be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's worth it. Worth every penny. A sinister plot has unraveled, and I'm glad that we can take the time to shine a little bit of light on it. I love Florida. I've never been. I'd like to visit. I believe Floridians are wonderful people, but sometimes everywhere you find disgusting, despicable people everywhere. And I don't know who's behind this. I don't know the individual behind it, but I know the name of the company. I'll tell you that. The name of the company that I'd like to talk about right now is Sloth World from Orlando, Florida. They went ahead, they took a trip. They flew to Peru, they flew to Guyana, shout out, and they decided to bring over some sloths because in their mind, in their sick, perverted mind, they wanted to bring it over to Florida and create this sloth world. Ladies and gentlemen, this sick son of a bitch or the female bitches who were inside this company, they had the desire, and explicit too, not like they're hiding it, not like it's, behind the shadows working, in the dark and secret and no, out in the open. They want to eradicate the world from human population and replace them with sloth. And they want to call it Sloth World. They want to get rid of 8 billion people and replace them with sloths, ladies and gentlemen. And that's disgusting. They have no, because that's the thing. I love animals, but first and foremost, I'll say this. I'm team human first and foremost. I don't know why, I don't even need numbers. I don't even know why I did hand numbers there. It's just because I got excited. God damn it, when we're talking about humans and animals. These people want to get rid of all the human population to create a sloth world. And guess what? 31 of these sloths happen to die because they got left behind in cold, abandoned warehouses. So they didn't even fucking make it to the sloth world, to breed with one another and start creating more sloths to take over the planet for this crazy plan to eradicate the planet of humans and replace them with, I don't even know where they like, what sloths can't even, they're wonderful, cute creatures, but like they're slow. They don't do much. They just like hang on to trees and or each other, and like they're sloths. They're extremely slow. They're not productive. They don't even speak English. They can't use utensils. They can't type. They can't, you know, they can't read or write, which is, that's, you know, that, so I don't understand why, but in some cases that you just make them empty-headed consumers, right? Just make a world filled with sloths and just get them to consume material goods, just fucking, but slowly, but then keep forcing them to consume more without questioning anything. This is a sloth world, and we're just going to consume and not produce anything. We're just gonna hang on to this tree, and that's where they want you, man. That's where they fucking want you. These fucking communists. They want everybody to turn into a sloth and just sit somewhere, barely move, and just be a fat consumer of a sloth. So their plans, it was, some people call it divine intervention. I'm not happy that the 31 sloths died, but I'm happy that the plan to move forward with this so-called sloth world has been, for the time being at least, hindered. We could say that. I don't know if they're going to continue with it, but at least for the time being, it's definitely put a, you know, at least we hit the brake a little bit on that one. So I'm glad to hear that. But again, it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and remove, you know, ripping sloths from their mother's teats in Guyana and like bribing some villagers and like, you know, showing your genitals to some villagers to show you the, you know, pack of local sloths. And you're like, oh, look at my nuts, villager. Show me your sloths. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. One of those deals, and you give them a couple of bananas and throw them a couple of shekels, and then again rub your genitals on their nose and be like, where are your sloths? I'm here to take your sloths. So that didn't work out too well for these evil sons of bitches out there. But but evil doesn't sleep. I don't know how they got it down, to be honest with you, because I'd like to not be able to sleep. It would be like, sleep is good, don't get me wrong, but if like, you know, 24 hours thing, if you could just have all the hours to yourself, somehow evil has got it figured out. If we can somehow tap into that not sleeping thing, I think we'd fucking, you know, own evil or something. Somebody asked out there, how do I sucker punch? That's a beautiful question. How do I sucker punch? Sucker punching essentially means she's squirting. She's squirting, of course, and you want to suck her punch, which is euphemism for her squirt. How to suck her punch? You suck her punch, friend, amigo, by placing your lips properly over her puss. So when she's gotten off, when she's flicked her bean herself, or you've fingered her, like, you know, 2, 3, you know, 12, 17 to 21 fingers in there, and you're fucking, you know, you're milking her. You're milking her inside, fucking, you're splish splash sploosh. You're going in there. You're bringing it hither. You're doing a hither come hither motion. You're doing a hither come hither. You keep doing a hither come hither, and she eventually fucking starts squirting. The key to do a sucker punch is to be able to put your lips over her puss extremely quickly, so that none of the squirt gets out. A lot of people just like waste all the squirt, and it just ends up all over the place, and it's just like, why do we even do this? Why did we even, you know, you know, I didn't get any of it in my mouth. You'll say, well, fucking, this is how you do it. You stick your lips right on top of it, right on top of the puss, and just drink all the squirt. I have heard that in parts of Asia, people use straws to get so you can let the squirt kind of go all over the place, and then get a straw and then suck the squirt. That way you could sucker punch. Some people, like, you know, get like a funnel, and they put the funnel in their mouth and get the lady to squirt into the funnel, and then you sucker punch like that. You could get a towel and get her to squirt on top of the towel, and then, you know, squeeze the towel, get a cup, but then some of it, you're not going to get all of it. You're not going to get all of it, friend. The best way, I would suggest, again, as soon as you're going to have to work on this. You know, it takes a lot of time. Chase a chicken in the yard if you need to build up the stamina and the speed. If you can catch a chicken, you can sucker punch. if you don't have chickens and or roosters, if you can catch a butterfly, if you can catch a butterfly and score like a bee, no wait, if you fight like a firefly, no, if you can ejaculate like he ejaculates like a butterfly and he masturbates as the bees. Whilst masturbating like a bee, switch your hands with your non-dominant hand. He swings like a butterfly. He sings like a bee. So if you can sing like a bee and swing like a butterfly, you can sucker punch. So I hope this helps. Of course, if you have any remedies as to how you can sucker punch, leave a comment, please, because we're all learning together and we're all essentially one, working with one another, each and every one of us being one little teeny tiny piece of this large puzzle that we call a puzzle. Some random fella, because people, I love people, and from the goodness of their heart, some people open up to your boy and they love your boy back, and I love you and I want to help you out. Somebody had a quick little interaction with me, and they were going for a job interview and they were wearing a hat, and they told me, Rob, do you think it's cool if I wear a hat to the job interview? And I want you to get the job, friend. And this is, I'm putting it because if one person asks it, 8 billion people ask it, or at least if 8 billion people ask it, one person asks it. So one person asked it, I'm not sure if 8 billion asked it, but at least, 100 million, 200 million people asked it. How do I get the job, and should I wear a hat to the job interview? That was the question. To the young fella, to the young man who wants to get the job, but he's debating as to whether or not he should wear the hat. I'm not a hat expert. I myself do. Yeah, sometimes winter times I'll wear a little toque. Summertime I might wear a hat, a little cap. But I'm not quite sure if it'll help you attaining the job that you want. I don't know what job it is that you want to get out there. Growing up, I heard, dress profesh if you want to get it, but then I don't know what kind of job you want to get, because what if it doesn't require you to be profesh? And what even is profesh? Because a fella could be profesh, but, wear a hat and he may seem like he's not profesh because of said hat. And, conversely, a fella could come in hatless and be like, I look profesh, but he could easily be just like not a profesh. To ensure you get the job, I would suggest minimal clothing items is probably the best idea. I don't know how it worked in the past, but a whole lot of, education, job market, inflation, wages, this, that, and a lot of things have changed. I suggest you show up to the job with as few clothing items as possible. Impress them. Let your body do the work for you. A lot of times, people are impressed with power moves. Show up in the nude, friend, whether you're male or female. Maybe wear the hat, but don't wear anything else. I'm talking Lego, Crocs, a hat, and your briefcase with your resume. You can email your resume. You don't even need a briefcase. You don't even need a fuck the briefcase. Fuck it, you're a professional. Who needs a briefcase? What is this, 1975? Nobody cares about briefcases. So you got your Lego Crocs, you wear a hat, and you just go in swinging cock, all right, or swinging tit, and you just if there's a table between you and the interviewer, set your tit on the table, all right, and just fucking rub one nipple. Just as she's asking you a question, what do you think you're gonna be bringing to this table? And be like, look, these huge jugs. That's what I'm bringing to the table. Or if you're male, in this case it was a fella, put your nuts on the table and comb through your pubic hair. Bring a little tiny, like a mustache comb, but use it for your pubes. Comb through you and be like, I'll bring everything. I'll come to this table prepared each and every day. And it wouldn't hurt if you could induce arousal and maybe slightly get hard. Not too hard, because this is, again, you want to be professional. You don't want to be like, this interview has turned extremely sexual. We're looking for something a little bit more professional. I'm talking like, you know, half hard, just to show that just the blood flow and the ability to go from, you know, fucking, you know, something that might not be so eye-catching or, you know, impressive to something that, hey, this is actually growing on me. Whoa, like, but not physically. Whoa, you're, and it can grow on them if you let your cock grow bigger. And it happened the table is it's a tiny table. It could grow on them. You could do that. Stick your genitals in their face. That always does it. If you stick your genitals in the interviewer's face, that always gets the job done. We've heard countless stories that people get the job by simply sticking their puss and or their cock in the face of the boss, and that'll do it. Or reversely, stick their genitals in your mouth, and that'll also do it. So there's, honestly, it doesn't even matter what you wear, to be honest with you. It doesn't. It's 2026. No one cares as long as you do the job. But if you want to play it safe, remove as many clothing items as possible. Stick your ass in their nose and I'm ready to do whatever it takes to take this company to the next level, and wherever that level may be, take it there. You don't even need to be prepared for that. You can learn the job on the job. You don't need to be like, well, I don't know if this is going to come off as professional. It will be. Just trust me, stick your genitals in their face, and you, my friend, just got a bonus. Fucking hashtag, you got the job. Hashtag, get that bonus. Hashtag, nuts in the face. You know what I'm talking about. So congratulations to you out there, and thank you for that personal story that you shared with us, dear anonymous person. And of course, I did say initially when we started today, so today's, I guess we're all inspired by one another. We're all taking hints from one another, learning and growing. Somebody I'd like to shout out to, because this person is inspirational. Truly, I mean this. And it inspired me to do something similar. Talking about, again, going to Florida this time. We did something beautiful. Let not Sloth World be the representative of Florida, but let this beautiful man from Jacksonville, Florida, I'm talking about police officer Antonio Richardson, who prayed for a man on a bridge, and he prayed him off because this person was on a bridge in Jacksonville, Florida. He was going to make a jump off the bridge, but not on Officer Antonio Richardson's watch, because he took the time and he spoke to this jumper and he prayed him off the bridge, and that inspired me. It was beautiful. It's heroic. You saved a life, sir. We salute you. And then again, it just made me want to do something similar, and I did. But I'm not, I didn't go off there and make a whole thing of it. I'll just relay it to the folks out there here. Yeah, I went off to different parts of the city here in Toronto and tried to find people who wanted to jump off a bridge, and it was difficult because I couldn't find any people, and I put in around 45 minutes to an hour to try to find a few. I couldn't find anyone. I had to. It does not bring me any joy. I did have to talk some people into maybe considering jumping off bridges so that I could later talk them off the jumping. A lot of people refused. A lot of people said, no, we weren't even considering jumping off of this bridge. What's up, man? What do you want? I said, why don't you just come by this bridge right here? It's not even that big of a bridge. Why don't you just come here and maybe have you, do you have anything going on in your life? And a lot of people did, like families, careers, loved ones. And I said, do people even love you? Do people even care? Does that even matter? Don't you want to jump? I said that, trying to, build up. I wanted to plant that seed. I'm like, maybe if he or she goes there, and I tried with maybe 3 to 10 people I tried, and I tried to, fucking break their self-esteem. I'm like, you're worth nothing. Nobody loves you. People talk shit behind your back. You're scum. You're bringing disgrace to not just your family and friends, but to the larger community at hand. Nation state, really globally, people think of one person that they can get rid of, and the world would be a better place for it, and it would be you. Do you want to jump off this bridge? And still, they adamantly refused. But then so it didn't go according to plan. And, they didn't want to play along, and they were happy with their lives, and I guess that in itself, technically, I saved 3 to 10 people. I tried other means. Believe you me, I got inspired, and like a bunch of times I entered into buildings and would not allow people to get in or leave the elevators because I explained to them, I'm like, if you go into this elevator right now and you go up to the 22nd floor, you think it's just going to be another day, that you just go up to the 22nd floor of this building and you're going to go up there and die, fella. And people are like, get out of my way, I gotta get to my office. I'm like, I can't let you, sir. No, I can't. And I kept fucking like getting it. Oh, this way. Oh, which way we go? And I didn't let them go, man, because you never know. And I eventually I had to get on with my day. I eventually moved out of the way and let the people go, and that in itself saved, I don't know, 75 people at least that morning. So yeah, I got inspired by police officer Antonio Richardson. You're a hero, sir. I'm not gonna, try to. And people are like, please, this isn't about me. I don't want any. Don't go out there and be like, Rob, you saved like, by the story you just said, you just saved like 1,000 people. I don't want people to think that it's. This story is about Antonio Richardson, man. I fucking we all do what we can. We all do what we can. A couple of times I went to the grocery store and would not let people grab their carts, and I'm like, because you never know. You think you're gonna just go buy melons, and you don't know if that melon is gonna be a deadly, venomous, explosive melon and explode in your face, and then make you go blind. So I saved a few people there too. But again, it's not about me. And yeah, shout out to Officer Antonio Richardson. But be careful out there. I also want to say this. Be careful out there, because 8 million bottles and jars from Thermos have been recalled. Or recalled. Is it recalled or recalled? Is it like you call it once and you call it again? It's like research. Just do it properly the first time. You know what I mean? Let's just call it. But it's been recalled. Jars, get over here. It's Thermos. 8 million of these jars and bottles have been recalled or recalled, ladies and gentlemen, due to the bottles and jars causing vision loss, because the people at Thermos, they decided to just think short-sightedly, think that they can grasp all the market to themselves by making their consumers and people who purchase their goods go blind and essentially become dependent on their water bottles and jars, not thinking about the future. That they didn't think that, hey man, we're gonna need people to see where they're going and what they're drinking, but they're like, no, we're gonna make water bottles and jars that blind people. And then it blinded a few people, I guess, and it was short-sighted, I'll say that. To the people of Thermos, we as humans, we as the human species, like to live a long and healthy life and be able to consume and see the things that we put in our face, and we like to drink and keep our vision too. So yeah, you might be caught up in the game of money making and Mr. fucking, money bags over here. Oh, look at me, I'm big Thermos. I don't care about humanity. All I care about is the profit margin. We gotta sell. You know what we could do to enhance the sales? Make them go blind and become dependent on our products. Well, guess what? It's been recalled or recalled, and that means people found out that the thermoses and the jars are making people blind, so they called it out. Like, they recalled it, and they called it once, but they called it again. All right, so fucking take your blinding liquid vessels and reverse your course of conduct, because people like to be able to drink and keep their vision too, Thermos. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.